Cliff, Gary Cooper, Phyllis Diller, Errol Flynn, Glenn Ford, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Cary Grant, Betty Grable, Mariette Hartley, Al Jolson, Jane Mansfield, Dean Martin, the Beaver Jerry Mathers, Ozzie and Harriet Nelson, Tatum O'Neal, Tyrone Power, Elvis Presley, Burt Reynolds, Don Rickles, John Ritter, Rochester, Ginger Rogers, Sally Struthers, The Three Stooges, Cheryl Teagues, Spencer Tracy, Lana Turner, Ed Wynn, and Ken Murray's shooting stars, Anne Margaret, Bob Hope, and his first films of Marilyn Monroe, and rare footage of Daniel Brisbois, Eric Estrada, Jane Fonda, Melissa Gilbert, William Catt, Barbara Mandrell, Dahlia Marie Osmond, Linda Pearl, Brooke Shields, and Anson Williams. And special guest Ken Murray. All these and more on Hollywood's private home movies. Now, here's our host, Bill Cosby.
Thank you. So, all right. So, I just want you at home to calm down. Now, I know you read all those names, and the first thing you did was you said, oh, wait a minute, Marge, come here. This show's got everybody who's ever existed. I'm not kidding. Bring pad and pencil. We're going to take down and call our lawyer if we don't see them all. See, what you're about to see is the stars in their private lives, you know, that thing that they cherish, and they're shooting movies of themselves. And it's so funny. I mean, you would really think that people who had worked with Darrell F. Martin Farms would won the Academy Award on behalf of myself, and we shot. And guys who wait for 12 years for the sun to be in the right place, and they spend $18 million, and they say, don't shoot yet, it would give you some of the great home movies of all times. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to say that this is not true. You're going to see these people being themselves. I mean, out of focus, on focus, forget focus, hope focus. A lot of hope focus. We've got movies of stars celebrating, hanging around the house, being with their kids, and taking vacations.
I'm in love. I don't know who with, but just in love. It's Mexico.
Burt Reynolds. If I could be like anybody, I'd like to be like Burt Reynolds. He's daring, he's macho. Although I've been married 20 years, and my wife has given me a machoectomy. He's got millions of ladies all over the world crazy about him, but privately, he's different. Tonight, you're going to meet Burt Reynolds, the experienced sportsman. Friday, mostly fishing.
Well, it's 6:30 now. We've been sitting here since 5:30 waiting to go out. But the captain says the fish are really boiling. I don't know if he means they're boiling or they're boiling. Anyway, the roar of the engines, the sea breeze on my face, out for another day of upchucking, sunstroke, and fish.
Oh, boy, this has got to be a 45-foot, 800-ton marlin swordfish that you'll have to have mounted. Reel him in. Oh, well, reel him out.
Saturday, mostly golfing.
That's right, listen up. Golfers got to relax now. Dance around the green. Circle the green. Stick out your tongue. Line up the ball. Keep your left arm straight. Your knee bent. Toes in. Head down. Now hit the ball.
That's a good shot.
I can't hold the camera still.
Sunday, mostly resting.
Well, I just come out here to check on the band. Got a good band here tonight. Jazz combo. Just enjoying the view.
Now, about this place. See, I just wanted you to know what a movie mogul's projection room might look like. See, the mogul doesn't have a projector in this room. He has another room for the projector, see? And there's a man in there. He lives in there. This man lives very, very well. And he sleeps. And then the mogul presses the thing, and he pushes down. He says, hello, Fred.
Yes, Mr. Mogul.
So then he says, roll 'em, Fred.
Yes, Mr. Mogul.
See, then the mogul sits back, and when he wants to view a movie, he just presses a button and the screen comes right on down out of the ceiling like this. Comes down out of the ceiling, see? And other things begin to happen while the mogul is there. I'm talking mogul. So, now, I want you to see this here. See? There you go. This, in the old days, see, I ran the projector. And I'm telling you, to be the projectionist meant that you were an intellectual, because this was the definition of uncertainty. See? And anyway, I'll get all of this set up, and then we'll be back with Hollywood's private home movie.
The private films of Dean Martin, Jane Fonda, Eric Estrada, and Brooke Shields when we return.
It usually happens late in the day. Your underarm alarm goes off, telling the world you need odor protection that keeps going as long as you do.
You should have used Old Spice.
Old Spice deodorant kills odor-causing bacteria and protects for 24 hours.
Happened to me at a party last night. You should have used Old Spice.
Old Spice helps stop underarm alarm for 24 hours. Check Sunday, June 5th newspapers for these money-saving coupons from Old Spice.
Sodium can turn up where you least expect it, even in your antacid tablet. Your antacid tablet. If you're concerned about sodium, what antacid do you take? Tums is sodium-free, and it also neutralizes 1/3 more stomach acid than the other leading brand. Tums lets you do without the heartburn and without all that sodium.
Now, one of the problems of home movies is what to shoot. Most of us, right off the top, shoot our children, usually on special days such as birthdays or holidays, and we keep these movies as a record of how they've grown over the years. And we have some special footage of stars when they were young, and tonight, thought it might be fun if you tried to guess who they are, starting with this young lady right here.
That's me in Central Park in New York City when I was 2 years old. Do you know who I am, Bill?
No? Okay, give me a hint.
It was 15 years ago when I was just a kid.
That means you're 17 years old and makes you still a kid.
Oh, come on.
Well, give me another clue.
My lagoon is blue and my love is endless.
Yeah, I know. You're Lionel Richie.
No, Brooke Shields.
Oh, well, that's easy for you to say. How about that, huh? You remember a show called Leave It to Beaver? Well, the beaver was played by Jerry Mathers. Jerry's family had a dog. You take a dog, a parent, and a kid. You take away the parent, The dog will eat the kid. Now, here's the kid and the dog. Proof. The dog is trying to eat the kid. Now, the parent will always tell the kid that the dog is a good dog. Don't tease the dog, and the dog won't hurt you. The minute the parent is gone, the dog eats the kid again. She took to acting the way she took to water. She's only 18 years old now, but she's already a television star on Little House, A New Beginning. Say hello to Melissa Gilbert. This dark-haired boy became a big macho star. He's a Chip off the old block. You don't get it. Chip, the star of Chips. Eric Estrada. Don't tell me you knew it all the time. Now this little lady, look at those eyes, the mouth, the chin. Here's a hint. She looks a lot like her dad, and he was a famous actor. Sure, she's Jane Fonda. Lots of little girls like to put on makeup and dream they're stars. This little girl's dreams came true. As a child, she starred at the Grand Ole Opry, and when she grew up, she became everyone's sweetheart, Barbara Mandrell. For this youngster, these happy days were happy days. Get it? You're looking at Potsy, Anson Williams. What's wrong with this picture? Correct. Mom's safe in the playpen, and the baby's getting dinner ready. You're looking at one of the stars of Archie Bunker's Place, Danielle Brisebois. This girl is a real pearl and grew up to win the heart of the Fonz, Linda Pearl. This group of youngsters wasn't just a family, they were an act. This young lady recently got married. She's a little bit country, and her brother was a little bit rock and roll. The family? The Osmonds. The boy, Donnie. The girl, Marie. Donnie and Marie.
This is my first performance. Age, 1 week. All I know for sure is that's me and my mom and the nurse, and I'm wondering what all the fuss is about. This is St. Vincent's Hospital in Portland, Oregon. That's my mom, Margaret Caroline, and we're going home. My very first trip. Obviously, I'm not the least bit camera shy. Where does the time go when you're growing up? I'm 2.5 years old, and that's my sister Sue, and she's 4.5, and we went everywhere together. Her friends at school called her Strut Butt. Can you tell why? Those summers went on forever when we'd dance on the beach just because the air was warm and we were happy. This little delight is my little girl. Her name is Samantha. Here we are at a mother-daughter fashion show for charity. She doesn't seem to be camera shy either. I know I'm being a typical mother, but isn't she a wonderful little girl? Best thing I've ever done.
Of course, she's Sally Struthers. Now, we took the home movies of Dean Martin, added a little music, and it came out like this.
Everybody loves somebody sometime. Everybody falls in love somehow. Something in your kiss just told me my sometime is now. Everybody finds somebody someplace. There's no telling where love may appear. Something in my heart keeps saying my someplace is here. If I had it in my power, I would arrange for every girl to have your charm. And every minute, every hour, every boy would find what I find in your arms. Everybody loves somebody sometime. And although my dream was overdue, your love made it well worth waiting for someone like you. Everybody loves somebody sometime.
That's an awe ending. That's when everybody at home looks as awe. Now, this is Lodge Cunningham. Now, Lodge here was a sound man in Hollywood, and he was the first one of the men allowed to bring his own camera to the studio lot and on location to take pictures. Lodge wanted to have his picture taken with some of the sets and the props in the background. But certain pushy types, they see the camera, get all excited, always want to get into the picture with him. So let's take a look at Lodge trying to get a picture of himself. Poor Lodge Cunningham. Oh, come on, Cary Grant, hogging the scene with that old banana gag. Please. Sure, Glenn, you starred in Gilda. Let Lodge take his picture by himself, please. Out in the desert, who shows up in a tank? The legendary Humphrey Bogart. Lodge must really be steamed. Look how he's pretending to be pleasant to Joel McRae. Tim Four, look how Broderick Crawford is trying to get the center of attention. At last, someone who doesn't want his picture taken, Montgomery Clift. He's making sure Lodge doesn't get his picture taken either. Rochester, fresh from a visit with Mr. Benny, can't resist getting into Lodge's spotlight. Poor Lodge. Here's Al Jolson mugging in front of his camera. A man in his boat, but who ruins the shot? A young upstart named Earl Flynn. Now, another home movie tip. This is an extension cord, which I always had a problem with at home. The new ones here. The old days, they just had 2 of these. I don't know, this third one's supposed to save your life for some reason. But you always get one like this, which has 2, and you have 3. So you really want to see this movie real good. So you keep going, magic, magic, please, magic, 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 magic. Now, you're all set to show the film. You have the proper extension cord with the proper adapter plug. The projector's aimed in the general vicinity of a screen or light-colored wall. Now, you say, dim the lights, and you turn it on.
Another home movie tip. Always have a flashlight handy in case you blow a fuse.
We'll be right back with more of Hollywood's home movies right after this.
You ever notice in the dark, nothing's where it's supposed to be?
You're invited to the unpublicized family-only wedding of Elvis and Priscilla, and films of the private moments they shared, when we return with more of Hollywood's private home movies.
Just 1 calorie. Tab Cola. What a beautiful drink. Tab Cola. For beautiful people. Tab Cola. You're beautiful to me. Great taste, 1 calorie. Tab.
Is Darth Vader my father?
The saga lives on. The quest continues. A destiny revealed.
You must face Darth Vader again.
A legend fulfilled. Return of the Jedi. Rated PG. Starts Wednesday at a theater in your galaxy.
Viva la Dijon, viva la roast beef, viva la différence. Viva la Dijon, viva la skewers, viva la différence. Viva la Dijon, viva la salads, viva la différence.
The difference between French's new Vive la Dijon and other mustards is our special blend of herbs and fine white wine that makes ordinary foods taste extraordinaire.
Viva la chicken, tastes unique. Viva la hot dog, c'est magnifique. Viva la French's, viva la Dijon, viva la différence.
French's Vive la Dijon. It's new. Better buy 2.
Tuesday, it's Arnold's costume ball for his favorite charity.
My car need a new fuel pump.
Happy days, then.
Chachi and I are eloping.
Catch the wild wedding plans on Joni Loves Chachi. And Jack pigs out to impress Janet's sexy friend.
Badia, 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 badia. That's all, folks.
Three's Company, then. A family friend puts the squeeze on Mrs. Hart.
How's your love life?
Terrific. 9 to 5, Tuesday.
When people take vacations, they usually try to do something that has nothing to do with their work. For example, coal miners visiting New York City rarely take the subway, with the hat on, going in. Oh, this is big fun. Now, you recognize this woman here? You should. She's been on the cover of every major magazine. That's her job, having her picture taken. Now, watch Cheryl Teagues in Africa somewhere, and I think the photographer is a friend of hers.
So at last, the vacation I'd been dreaming about. In Kenya, East Africa, where I wouldn't have to pose for another picture. No phones, no lights, no cameras. My husband, Peter Beard, is with me, and he's a photographer. I'm sure he's looking forward to a break, too. Maybe not. He's taking this picture of me. Well, one picture, who cares? Day 3. Stay with the deer, dear, please. Oh, well, if you insist. Cheese. It's day 5, and you're still snapping away? Peter, put the camera down. Okay, I don't think this is funny anymore. Peter, put the camera down. Day 12 and a chance to soak in a tub. Oh, wait a second, I don't believe it. Peter, I'm taking a bath. Oh, I can't wait to get back to New York so I can rest.
And so, as Cheryl sinks slowly into the West, we travel halfway around the world to find a television star who not only shoots the scenery but takes pictures of Chinese television in his hotel room. Here's the talented star of Three's Company, Mr. John Ritter.
Hi. Don't you just love it when you go over to some people's house and they say, wait, you've got to see what the wife and I did on our summer vacation, and you have to sit there through hours of their home movies. Some people. It just so happens I have a home movie of what my wife and I did during our summer vacation, and I think you're going to really like... Please, sit down. No, don't touch the channel, please. Sit down and just bear with me, okay? This was our trip to Taiwan. Roll them, please. And those of you in the studio audience, watch the monitors. Now, this is the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Museum in Taipei, Taiwan. And here we are at a nice little stroll along the beautiful walkways. My wife, Nancy, and I are... There's Nancy feeding the fish, who were very hungry that day, I must say. Now, this is my point of view walking along the park. Three's Company's popular over there, and also I was wearing no trousers, but that... I don't want to talk about that. Now, here's my wife with some urgent information.
John, I lost my fish food.
Now, here's Jason, my son, and his oldest friend, Fabiana. And we're having some fun. These are some examples of commercials. Yes, they have them even in China. That was my favorite. I went out and bought that. I didn't know what it was, but I have several of them. And there I am at the Golden Bell Awards, which is exactly like the Emmy Awards. I was asked to come over and present award for the Best Actor.
Hello, thank you. Mr. John Ritter, 我们现在还要请
Please call me John.
Okay, John.
And you can call me anytime you want.
Oh, yeah.
No! What a time to run out of film. Well, it's on the next reel. We've got lots and lots of film. Don't worry. See, what I... Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. It's better for you if you sit down. Take a load off, okay? There you go. See, what I was saying about the best of television, it was very interesting. Being on television in a foreign language... Hang on, 1 second. 1 second. You mind? Just, I have hors d'oeuvres. Nancy, could you get the food for these people in the camera? Thank you. Let me just tell you very quickly. In the third film clip we have of our trip to Madagascar, we met a very strange waiter. You're going to love this. And hang on 1 second. Are we rolling it now? There's sound, too. Do you like sound?
From Taiwan, we return to Africa. Africa. I'd like to talk to the travel agent about this itinerary. Yeah. once again to Africa with Zsa Zsa Gabor. Zsa Zsa in Africa?
Hello. And there's my beautiful little dingo. Show your blue eyes, Dingy Dong. Dingo, show yourself. You have to show your knuckle. Well, we'll see him later. Dingo's a wild dog from Australia.
Australia? I thought this was supposed to be about Africa. Now, what is it going to be? Is she going to talk? Is this about Dingoes, the dog in Australia, or Africa? What? Zsa Zsa, what is this movie going to be about, dear?
Johannesburg and South Africa. We took a friend, a Hungarian writer friend of mine, Bundy Sold, and an African friend, Derek Goodman, and I took a safari down to Kruger National Park, which is a very famous, was the first national park in the world. Here I'm in a big hat. I think I bought it at Christian Dior. The earrings ain't bad either, let's face it. Boy, was I young.
Pretty well dressed for somebody beating around the bush.
Oh, I'm feeding a baboon. These are called baboons. They are called the beggars of the jungle. They come to your car, they ask you for eating, and they look so human that when they take your food, you really get mad that they don't say thank you. Look at that chauvinistic pig. He never gave a thing to his wife.
I see you wearing your jungle jewels.
I can't live without jewelry. When I was 6 months old, father, all of us, all three of us, had little diamond earrings put in our ears. We had pierced the ears. And when I married the first time at 15 to the Turkish Minister of Propaganda, gave me a 10-carat diamond. He says, darling, never have a smaller diamond than that. And I never did. That ring ain't bad either. I sleep in the nude but with earrings, son. Lioness has to kill for their husbands. Or one husband, I don't know how many husbands a lioness has. I had 7. Not one of them were good, though, except George Sanders.
I always suspected that. Don Rickles and Bob Newhart and their wives, Barbara and Jenny, are close friends. So when they take a vacation, chances are the 4 of them take it together with Bob Newhart behind the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Warmth himself, the mouth that roared, Don Rickles.
The title of my film is How I Spent My Summer Vacation.
Here we are in the cockpit of our plane at 40,000 feet. If you'd like to duplicate this shot, set your camera at f/16 and leave the lens cap half on. We land in Europe, a perfect one-point landing. As you can see, we're all surprised. We were supposed to go to Miami. This is the Israeli border. Customs officer asked us if we had anything to declare. And Bob did 20 minutes. The bus had a mechanical breakdown in the Middle East. Here we are in Israel trying to dig up spare parts. This is the garage of Mr. Abdul Wrench.
Bob, look what you're stepping in, Bob.
Bob.
This is the Alan King Memorial in Israel, dedicated in memory of one of his monologues that died. We asked our guide to take this shot of us. He kept backing up for a long shot. Eventually, he ended up in Jordan, and we bought a new camera. This is the main street just before our grand parade. Wait a minute. This is during our grand parade. This shot is interesting because we were never there. Morocco, Casbah, visions of Bogey and Bacall. Play it again, Sam. A snake charmer. Grown men. During the daytime, wearing pajamas. At night, they go to bed in 3-piece suits. Oh, boy, an ocean cruise. That's our boat. The little one. Here are the Newharts. One of them doesn't feel well. Mrs. Newhart. Bob calls over the side for a doctor. On our return, we overshot North America and land in Hawaii.
This is my friend Doris, my friend Alice. These are 2 hookers from Vermont.
Wow, look at this. Dick Martin cites his ex-partner. This is what we call our to-do spot. We're all sitting around saying, what are we going to do?
He's from Dallas, Texas. He opened his mouth.
When you find a great cameraman like Bob Newhart, you never let him go. Right, Bob? Let's make another film real soon, okay, Bob? Over here, Bob. Bob, I'm right over here. What's the matter, Bob? What did I say? Bob, give me a break. I never liked you. He's an annoying guy.
It's addressed to us.
The pleasure of your company is requested at a special event. The wedding of Elvis and Priscilla.
Press between the pages of my mind. Memories sweetened through the ages just like wine. Quiet thoughts come floating down and settle softly to the ground like gold of autumn leaves around my feet. I touch them and they burst apart with sweet memories. Sweet memories of holding hands and red bouquets and twilights trimmed in purple haze and laughing eyes and simple ways and quiet nights and gentle days with you. Memories press between the pages of my mind. Memories sweetened through the ages just like wine. Memories, memories. Memories, memories, sweet memories,
Because there's no such thing as too much romance. There's Harlequin. New Harlequin American Romance.
There's only one McDonald's through all these years you've found. For good times and great taste, there's just one place around.
There's one Big Mac, there's just one quarter pounder soup.
With cheese.
Just one place that gets to stay.
Thank you.
11 million times a day. Sparkling, smiling, press and hot. No lays out, that's what we got. McDonald's and my good friends, your favorite taste. We've got it all.
We always have.
In just one place.
Monday, Jacqueline Smith in a special encore presentation.
You were destined for greatness.
A golden girl with a golden life. A woman who captured the heart of a nation. A legend with the world at her feet. Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy.
You're going to be one hell of a first lady.
Hollywood's private home movies will continue.
A sports update brought to you by Michelob Beer. Now, from ABC News in New York, Fred Wymore.
Good evening. The Philadelphia 76ers opened the NBA Championship Series today with a 113-107 win over Los Angeles. Philadelphia's Moses Malone led all scorers with 27 points. He had 18 rebounds. Julius Erving pulled down 10 rebounds and dished out 9 assists while scoring 20 points. Now this.
Some things speak for themselves.
Calvin Peete scored a 2-stroke victory at the rain-shortened Atlanta Classic today. Peete came from 7 strokes off the lead with a spectacular final round of 9 under par 63, the lowest round of his PGA career. Rain in Indianapolis dampened the final day of time trials for next Sunday's 500. Only one car was bumped from the 33-car field. More later on the ABC News Weekend Report.
Tonight, together on one stage, the greatest stars of show business in a 2-hour extravaganza. George Burns, Bonnie Franklin, Gregory Hines, Lauren Bacall, Harry Belafonte, and more. The Parade of Stars. Tonight at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
They came from all over the world. The kind of hard-bitten men who hewed the Suez Canal out of desert wasteland. to build a lake at Six Flags Magic Mountain. A magic lake of mystic knights and wizards. The most fantastic water show in the world. We moved a lake and mystic knights to Magic Mountain with spectacular power forces every night. Because at Six Flags Magic Mountain, we're moving mountains for you.
Mean Genes, Monday at 7:30.
You may not realize it, but home movies or a similar form have been with us for centuries, even as far back as the caveman days. This is the fact. 1 million years BC, your average caveman would invite other cavemen and cavewomen over to the cave. In front of the light of the flickering flame, would then tell the story recalling the day's hunt. This he told of nearly catching the great fox. In ancient Greece, another form of home movies was the picture around a vase like this one. This one also told a story. How much does a Grecian earn? This is a very old vase. So is that joke. What does all of this mean to us today? Simply that man, not knowing what the future held, wanted a record of what the past meant to his present. The big breakthrough, of course, was the camera. And with this, he could see life as it really was. But somebody always moved. Said, stand still, will you please? So the answer to his prayers, the movie camera was born. You see, now he could capture people moving. And it was this precise moment the movie camera was invented that people stopped moving, then they stood still. Okay, so now it became the job of the person behind the camera to try and get the people in front of the camera to do something.
And they did do something, from a slow dance on a boat to a strange, weird ritual chicken dance by a pool.
It wasn't long before people really started to move for the cameras. And the man behind the camera had a tough time trying to keep up with it. This man is Mel Brooks, responsible for The History of the World Part 1. Before his saddles blazed or his anxiety got high, this is the way Mel Brooks walked.
Bill, you may not recognize this face. It's my old face. I'm on face number 3. Unload the groceries, slice a tomato. What do you mean you're bringing the boss home for dinner? You don't have a job. I'll just retoss the salad. It's been sitting here for a week. This tomato is petrified. Now I'll turn on the stove. Cute stove. I'll make raisin bread. Whoops, we're out of raisins. No problem. I'll use these as a substitute. What do you mean, don't do anything silly? When have I ever done any... Hello? Hello? He hung up. Imagine. I'll just put this pot in the dishwasher and carry on. Why did you bring him home so early? I haven't finished cleaning the house. Here, lift your feet. Give me your ashtray. Give me your cigarette. Give me your tire. Yearning to be free. I'll just make this bed nice, pretty, lovely. Tuck everything in, tuck me in. Oh, the heck with it.
Real home movie buffs edit their films. You cut out the scenes you really don't want anybody to see. You never really throw them away because you never know, you might change your mind. Here's your average American teenager washing her car, except this teenager is Tatum O'Neal and her car is a Porsche.
Now that you're here, I want to wash my new car. Oh.
And while Tatum washes her car, what's her papa, Ryan O'Neal, doing? He's busy ducking her car payments.
But his main event co-star, Barbara Streisand, says, forget the Porsche. Hedgeman here can make you a good deal on a Studebaker. I think we'll put this one back on the shelf. And Cheech and Chong have made many feature-length films. Here's a short one.
This film is by Tommy Chong.
Problems. What do they want, anyway? 1 minute of home movies? Is that what they said?
1 minute.
You want a home movie? What the hell are we going to do for a home movie?
We can shoot the kids.
You mean literally shoot the kids? That'd make a great home movie.
Mommy! Honey!
I'd throw this out, but I think it'll be needed as evidence. Now, Cheech said to run this without any explanation. Oh, okay.
Well, I guess we'll send this back to Cheech without any explanation.
This one looks good.
These are the home movies of sex symbol Jane Mansfield. This is her famous heart-shaped swimming pool. This is her husband, Mr. Universe, and the children.
When I was a kid, I thought Hollywood was a wild place, and the people that lived here always had wild parties all the time. Not like in North Philadelphia, where people just hung out on the corner and did nothing. Guess what? There was a house in Hollywood where Van Johnson and his wife Evie lived, where people just hung out at the pool and did nothing. Here are the home movies of Evie Johnson.
And you decorated my life, created a world where dreams are apart, and you decorated my life by painting your love all over my heart. You decorated my life.
Even back then, Hollywood was a swinging place. Here is a mystery question for all of us who have ever shown a home movie. It is a proven law that for some unexplained reason, the amount of film that goes into the projector increases, so that the amount of film that comes out of the projector is always too much for the take-up reel to handle. And so, to your embarrassment, you see this, and your friends look at it, and they're very bright people. They say, "Oh, what is that?" And you say, "Oh, this is my projector makes film." We'll be right back with more of Hollywood's private home movies right after this message.
Ken Murray and the first films taken of Marilyn Monroe next.
As soon as that class goes, I hear this hungry. And it's like, get me a Snickers bar.
Snickers satisfies you.
If you're gonna have a snack, it might as well be a Snickers because my hunger's controlled until dinner.
Packed with fresh peanuts, peanut butter nougat, caramel, and milk chocolate.
Satisfies you.
Packed with peanuts, Snickers really satisfies.
All the way through the whole bar, it's packed with peanuts.
Official snack food of the 1984 Olympic Games.
If you own ColecoVision, you already own a powerful state-of-the-art computer that gives you the arcade experience with the newest arcade games like Donkey Kong Jr., Looping, Pepper 2, Time Pilot, Mr. Do, Space Fury, Frontline, arcade controls like Turbo, the Roller Controller, and new Super Action Sports. And soon, you'll plug in computer modules that'll blow your mind. It's simple. ColecoVision, the expandable video game system, is also the expandable home computer system, the only system you'll ever need.
Do I smell roast duck?
For tonight, our anniversary.
Yeah, great.
Anniversary?
Help.
The Bell System Yellow Pages talks when your fingers do the walking. You save trouble and time.
Leslie's Flowers. We get there fresh.
How about fast?
And fast.
You remembered.
I ordered the flowers after you started the duck.
So I burned the duck after you ordered the flowers.
Get the Yellow Pages talking.
Fresh and fast.
Let your fingers do the walking.
Sail away, go Hawaiian, right away, Hawaiian punch, sail away. Nothing tastes like Hawaiian punch. You only have to taste it once. Taste of a place, ooh, far, far away. Come on and go Hawaiian, Hawaiian punch. Sail away, Hawaiian, sail away.
Wednesday, Colt's about to get killed.
You're making a big mistake.
And Maverick, the Virginian, Trampas, and Roy Rogers ride to his rescue.
Oh, my old heroes.
The Fall Guy. And then, she was a small town girl with uptown tastes. She's Lonnie Anderson, and she's hot. She's got sizzle.
Wednesday.
Many parents will say, I wouldn't want my son or daughter to go into acting. But when the son or daughter does go into acting, no one is prouder than dad or mom, especially if their parents were actors. Then it's a family tradition. Our first family is Ozzie and Harriet Nelson. You're looking at a half Nelson. This is a full Nelson. You can tell this Nelson is going to be a rock star. This is a full Nelson cleaning his pool. And this is the prettiest Nelson. This little fellow running through a family get-together turned out to be a big fellow, the greatest American hero. Even as a little toddler, William Kett had trouble with a red suit. His mother, Barbara Hale, who played Perry Mason's secretary, Della Street. His father, Bill Williams, who played Kit Carson. The Three Stooges are more popular today than ever before. The little girl you see is Moe's daughter, Joan Morer. She grew up and wrote the upcoming history of the Three Stooges.
Can anyone tell me why these people were paid to do the same thing that they do at home?
And this is Pat Boone.
Well, Bill, that's what I used to look like way back when. Actually, I've only gained about, I don't know, 1.5 pounds since then. That's my wife, Shirley. And she still looks terrific. Those are the young'uns, Cherry, Lindy, and Debbie. Boy, have they grown. I don't want to do a lot of talking. I just want to sit back with you and remember.
Is for the very young. Every star's a wishing star that shines for you. But April love can slip
right through your fingers. So if she's the one, don't let her run away.
Oh, years from now, they'll look back on that and say, oh. I'd like you to meet a very special person. When Hollywood was thrashing about trying to find itself, he was there with his camera for more than 50 years, and he made Hollywood turn around and smile at him. And here he is with an unknown starlet and Margaret. Bob Hope called him the C.B. DeMille of the home movie. You said there'd be a big laugh. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet Mr. Ken Murray. You told me I'd get a roar out. You see that?
First of all, you read it wrong. That's the first. That's all.
Give me the reading. Give me the reading.
And here he is, that scintillating character that Bob Hope calls the C.B. DeMille of home movies. Now, you see, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Never just... thank you so much. Listen, how did you get into this?
Well, you mean in the home movies?
Yes. Oh, not in the studio.
No. No, when I first came to Hollywood, it was in 1927. And it was my first time away from home. And I was very close to my folks. My mom and pop was a grandmother and grandfather, really. And I wanted to send some mementos back. And I hated to write, I still do. So I bought one of these new 16-millimeter movie cameras. I bought a projector for my folks, and I left it at home on the farm. And when I got to Hollywood, everybody on the street looked to me like a movie star.
This is the first picture I ever took. Wasn't hard to get him to pose. All you had to do was say, action.
He had just bought a new car, and I went golfing with him. That was an experience. He plays a fair game, but only if you watch him. Where do you see this? Now, it's not so much the swing, but watch the body English afterwards. He was a hacker in those days. He blows this putt. But years later, I played with him in a motion picture tournament, and he was the luckiest guy that day. Now watch this putt. It doesn't go in the front. It doesn't go in the side. It goes around the back and goes in. And look at him. He's so snide.
Hold it, hold it. The word is not snide, it's class, something Murray will never know anything about. If you want to know what really happened that first day on the golf course, I took some pictures of Murray myself. Look at those knickers, 200% wool. The sheep led a double life. At the last hole, when the caddy tried to get paid, big spender Murray offered to race him back to the car, double or nothing. He gave the caddy a consolation prize, his autograph. That's my car he's living dangerously with. Murray claimed he had to rush back to the Max Sennett studio. Said he had a big part in the collegiate picture. Big part. One line, and somebody hit him with a custard pie.
Hey, Bill, look at this. This is the last shot I ever took of Marilyn Monroe. And here's the first. She was just 15 years old.
These are the first movies ever taken of Marilyn Monroe. Her name was Norma Jean Baker. And at the time, she had come to audition for a stage show I had here in Hollywood called Blackouts. I was on the lookout for an understudy for my leading lady, Marie Wilson. And Marilyn definitely had the quality, but unfortunately not the quantity. She just couldn't fit into Marie's costumes. It was a simple matter of mathematics. Marilyn was a luscious 36, 22, 35, and Marie was a startling 39, 19, 36.
Well, I have a special surprise for you. Here's someone who has a message for you on behalf of all of us. Anne Margaret.
Hi, Ken. I just want you to know something. You are a rare human being. You've given Hollywood its past by preserving it on film. Through your home movies, the world has met the great Hollywood legends and discovered that they were warm, charming, funny, and human. And you did all this for the noblest of reasons. You just thought that it had to be done. As they say in Sweden, Ken, tusen tack, 1,000 thanks.
That was good. You know, that's a lovely job. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ken Murray.
A kid that looks like Bill Cosby when we return.
Mom? Dad? Stuart here. I know, you're wondering what's he doing on television. Oh, it's a crazy story. I'll tell you later. But while I've got you here, I want you to know what I want for graduation is a Kodak disc camera. The disc winds itself, it flashes itself, makes it real hard to miss a picture. See? I just took 2 pictures of the cameraman and I don't even know him. It's fun. The Kodak disc camera. Buy me this, and I'll let you make my room into a den.
The best way to tell you what NutraSweet is to tell you what it isn't. NutraSweet isn't fattening. It isn't bad for your teeth. It isn't artificial like saccharin. And it isn't for sale. Instead, NutraSweet is an ingredient. A new sweetening ingredient in products like these and in dozens more soon on their way. Best of all, the taste of NutraSweet is just like sugar.
Would you dim the lights, please? The 2 boys, first of all, I don't want you all to get the wrong idea. I am not the one with the hat, and that is not the alley that I used to play in, and this is not happening to me. See, I wasn't really, I think the kid is not really well on this particular, and I don't remember ever anything like this happening to me because I don't blame you, kid. That's our show. That's not me, see? I never had the big hit.
This is David Hartman. All next week on Good Morning America, my interview with Doris Day and her leading men, James Garner and Rock Hudson. Also next week, Carrie Fisher, Marie Osmond, and Bob Hope on Good Morning America.
Tuesday, Three's Company, when Jack starts dating Jan, his friend, but doesn't know she's married. Then Mr. Hart becomes a workaholic. Mrs. Hart starts playing around with another man on 9 to 5, followed by Heart to Heart. Now stay tuned for Parade of Stars.
Now, I know that he's the guy, and he's supposed to be cut out.
Don't miss David Brinkley with Peter Jennings and Max Robinson on ABC.
You ever notice in the dark, nothing's where it's supposed to be?
I always suspected that. I'd throw this out, but I think it'll be needed as evidence.